Alright, welcome to Tribulation 515, 2011. Today is Good Friday, April 6th, 2012. We have a beautifully sunny day here in San Jose, California. 66 degrees out. Perfect day. And, despite how nice it is here in San Jose, the world continues to spiral downwards into chaos. It couldn't have been more than a week ago. We had a pilot going crazy telling everybody it's time to say your prayers on a JetBlue passenger plane. And today, out of the blue, we got a jet crashing into an apartment complex in Virginia. A military jet. And the pilot saying, "I'm sorry." But, just seems like, man, there is crazy stuff happening everywhere. People killing people. We had the nutcase up in Oakland who shot 7 people. Something ain't right. I personally think, everything's kind of interconnected. That's what puts us into the tribulation. Not only is everybody thinking about it, but man, there just could be some things actually impacting us. Planet alignments, weather, magnetism, solar radiation. Who knows? The sun activity. There was Sunspot 429, which was blasting off just a bunch of CMEs and X-class flares and whatnot. None of them really hit Earth. That's the good news. But, everybody's watching the sun real closely because there seems to be a connection between solar flares and CMEs and the Earth's magnetic shield being kind of flattened. And on those days, we have earthquakes and volcanoes and that kind of stuff and weird weather. And some people, are even saying Planet X or Nibiru figures into that whole scheme of things. But I kind of sweep it under the whole 2012 end of the cycle, Mayan Hopi prophecy rug. But right now, it's pretty calm on the sun. There's only one sunspot, but it actually blew off some stuff yesterday. But I'm thinking, man, is that like the calm before the storm? Because everybody's expecting the sun to be going into a higher period of activity, and, is this the calm before the storm? Are we in, a window of a bigger event? A big earthquake or a volcano? Some of the star stuff that I've been looking at, the whole Venus conspiracy, messages that are coming out of the whole thing are tsunami, rain, flooding, heat damage, radiation, magnetism. I think all those things are in play. So we've got to keep an eye on the sun. And, this year, for the last 2 years, but this year too, we've been having all sorts of weird stuff, birds dying, crashing into the ground, and, I just was reading a story, there's all these dolphins dying off the coast of Peru, but I think anytime you got mass dyings of animals or fish or birds or whatever, that's a sign that probably some event is coming, and I think that's directly tied to the Earth's magnetic shield, because I think animals use, the whole Earth's magnetism and whatnot for their radar and for migrating and whatever. So if all of a sudden that's getting all scrambled, next thing you know, they're swimming up on shore, or birds are just crashing right into the ground, because they're discombobulated. But a lot of that's happening. And, I even saw a report says that the Antarctic ice caps are melting. And, with all the earthquakes around the world and the volcanoes, and, even in Wisconsin, they got these strange rumblings, which they say are underground earthquakes. But, all those ice shelves, whether it's the Antarctic or the Antarctic, they're probably cracking up, and, with all the solar flares, them melting. And I think that all plays into what this big event coming might be, whether it's this year or maybe early next year. And likewise around the world, like I got diabetes, man, but a lot of people have various illnesses, but one way or another our immune systems are all getting weakened. And at the same time, we find that bacteria and viruses and all that kind of weird stuff, they're getting stronger and more resistant to any kind of medicine. They're saying there's a malaria strain that's now resistant to drugs. There's a staph infection that is resistant to penicillin or whatnot. The bird flu, they're worried about that mutating. And could that all be tied into, once again, extra radiation hitting our planet? Like, if everything's kind of changing, germs, animals, well, guess what? It's also probably having an impact on us, whether we realize it or not. And maybe that's why some people are losing it. Around the world, Syria is still a complete disaster, and people are just being massacred every day. Obama's whole concept of we'll never let this kind of stuff happen, I think that's all out the window. Iran is just jerking everybody around, and Obama's either clueless or he doesn't care, but they're marching towards getting a weapon and probably using that weapon. So that's something we can all look forward to, because right now I don't think the United States is really doing anything to stop it. They're over there jawboning, and Iran's doing the same stuff they always do. They think we're so stupid. It isn't funny. And I'm not saying, I love Iranian people. I've known plenty of Iranians. Before that place all fell apart with the Ayatollah taking over, back in the 80s, I used to work with bunches of Iranians, and they were the nicest people, But, there's sinister forces. There's sinister forces here in America, but there's sinister forces in Iran. These sinister forces, they may want some kind of an oil embargo or world war to break out. And of course, the global market, the banking system, all of that continues to be rocked. They haven't solved a darn thing. It's all smoke and mirrors and a shell game. So all this refinancing of people's debts, all that's just a bunch of hocus pocus. And the bottom line is, all these people that put their faith in big government to provide everything, well, big government, because it's all broke, because they are the definition of inefficiency and mismanagement. And, like in the business world, if you have a company, the goal is to have the smallest pyramid you could possibly have. Like, you only want one layer of management or no layers of management, because the more layers of management you got, the more inefficiency, the more office games you got going. But the government is the ultimate pyramid of power, and it is inefficient. Probably only a fraction of a penny of every dollar that they take from us in taxes actually goes to anything good. But the global markets, all these people, these socialized countries over there, now they believe the government give them everything, and now the government's slowly taking away everything, and the government doesn't care, because they'll get you down to eating crackers and water, and they'll tell you, hey, be happy because you're safe and you're alive. And that's what we're looking at here in America. Is what kind of life we want. Where the government provides everything, but you get nothing. Barely enough to survive. So we're all waiting on the Supreme Court of the United States to issue its decision on whether Obamacare is going to move forward or not, whether socialism is going to set in and be irreversible or not. But I think the whole system, the whole global economy is still set up to fall. All the markers point to that. The American economy is stalling. The Democrats and Obama, you'll hear them say, oh, happy times, Obama solved everything. But, it's stalling out, because Yahoo's laying off 2,000 people here in San Jose. The unemployment numbers came out, and they're all just made up. 8.2%, that doesn't represent anything. It's more like 20%. But the only reason it goes down is because people are dropping off the unemployment rolls. As far as jobs created, there was only like 120,000 jobs, and they were expecting like 200 and something. And even that was like way below what you need to actually have a recovery. A recovery is when you have like 400,000 jobs or 1 million jobs a month being created. And none of that's happening, So, I don't know what to say. You know, we got the election kind of rolling down the hill. I got some more funny, stupid stuff coming out because that's just who I am. I like to do stupid, funny stuff. But, you know, I'm going to think positive. I'm still looking, you know, for a job here or there. But, I don't know. You know, I could get bored, but, you know, Tribulation, I get it on every day just by turning on the TV or walking out the front door. Alright, do something nice for somebody. Hang in there. Y'all take care.